Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. This your brother Quanah Wealth of the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp, coming with a quick lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And just this afternoon, I wanted to touch on the topic of, it's all for the elect's sake, man, right? Yahweh Shai being the chief of that elect number, everything we're seeing unfolding in prophecy, right, is taking place for the sake of the Lord's chosen, man, right? As we see, World War III amping up, as we see the mark of the beast, right, about to be rolled out, right? As we see the various plagues and pestilence, man, as we see the sedition, right, and the ultimate persecution, right, of the followers of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? All these things are for the elect's sake, because as it says here in Matthew 24 and 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? So the days are being shortened, man, right? The days of what? Of our captivity, right? The days of us being underneath these heathen. The days of us being subjected to the philosophies of of Esau Edom, man, right? The days of the earth mourning, right? The days of us not being in our right state, man. The days of wickedness, right? The days of us not being in righteous bodies, right? Those days are being shortened, man, right? For the sake of the elect. Now you get this word elect in the interlinear here, electos. Strong's G 1588, electos. It says picked out, chosen by the Most High to obtain salvation through Hamashiach, right? So the believers, right? The Messiah is called elect, as appointed by the Most High to the most exalted office conceivable, right? So he's elect as well, man, right? He's the elect of the elect, right? That chief office, like it says, the most exalted office. Right? So for his sake, for Lord willing, for our sakes, man, right? And ultimately for Israel as a whole, right? But salvation is coming to the elect on this side, man, right? To get us out of this depraved state, right? Let's go here, right? I was meditating on this Ezekiel 9th chapter, right? Let's see here. Yep, this is Ezekiel chapter 9. It's like it. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. It reads, "And the Lord said, Go unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof," right? And that mark being the mark of exemption, that Tawah, right? For the elect. Again, right? But the elect are doing what? Sighing and crying out continually about this place, man, right? Crying out about the Epstein files, right? Crying out about, those perpetrators, right? And falsifiers, right? In the Holy Land, man, right? Crying out about all the wickedness that we see done in the earth, man, right? Crying out about watching the earth as it stands die, man. The elect will be speaking out about these things, crying out about people calling in the wrong names, right? Not giving the proper credence, right? And respect to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? That's what the elect will be doing in this time. Warning about the mark of the beast, warning about World War III, right? That's all the things of the elect. So what it says, they shall receive a mark upon their foreheads, right? The men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we pray that we get that mark, man, the mark of exemption. Again, everything that we're seeing take place is speeding up the days, it's hastening the times, right? For the sake of the elect, right? Starting with Yahweh Shai, right? But continuing on, Lord willing, to us, man, right? Being in that number, because these days have to continue on faster, or else there would be nothing left, man. Right? This man would happily destroy all existence, right? And not think twice about it, So the Lord is setting it up to where our salvation is nearer than we believe, man, right? Let's go to Psalm 94, right? This is Psalm 94 and verse 16. It reads, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?" Right? The prophets, right? The elect, Yahweh Shai stood up, and he made his sacrifice, and his men are standing up in his stead on this side, man. Right? We're standing up against the evildoers, against the workers of iniquity on all levels, man, from top to bottom. Now, the main focus being, right, those elite, right? But we speak out from the basis of Esau and Jake, right, to the so-called highest upper echelons, man, right? All iniquity is getting sought out, right? All iniquity is being exposed, right, and brought to light in front of the world, man. That's what the elect will be doing on this side, right? If your lot wasn't to be a prophet, you'd be assisting the prophets, man, right? The women being assisting to their husbands, right? Those who are of that elect number, right? But all the elect are accomplishing the lot that they were set to go forth in, man, right? To receive that mark of exemption, right? To be of that fruit that get to see the downfall of our enemies, man, right? That are blessed to see it, So like I said, for the elect's sake, I got this definition for sake here in the Free Dictionary. It says the purpose, motive, advantage, good, right? So for the good, for the advantage of the chosen, man, right? It says for the personal benefit or interest, welfare, right? For the welfare of the elect, which is truly the welfare of the world, man, right? Because with the elect, starting with Yahweh Shai again, right, in the power seat, then the earth can finally flourish, man, right? That's what Romans 9th chapter, right? Let me get that real quick, Let's see here. Romans 8th chapter, Salakia. Romans 8, and actually we'll start in 14. We'll start in 16. Romans 8 and 16, the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together, right? So for the elect's sake, right, including for Yahweh Shai, right? So we're included in that, should we be a part of that number, Lord willing, man, right? All right, so being those joint heirs, right, though we suffer the persecution, and we're watching that, continue to mount, right, through these different legislations, right, through the spirit and the mindsets of these people being turned against the Lord, right? We're going to be glorified, should we endure, right, until the end, right? But everything we're seeing, again, is for the sake of that number, man, for the sake of the children of Israel who are of the elect of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? It says, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation, the point of the creature, waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. Right. So they're waiting for the elect to be revealed and established, man. Right. The earth is waiting. The animals are waiting. Right. Even the heathen. Right. Regardless of, they may buck up against it. Right. At this moment, they know that the earth will be in a better case with the elect. Right. Starting with Yahweh Shai again. Right. The 144,000. The 12, right? All the governing body that's going to be established, they're waiting for that as well, So this is all for the sake of eternity, right? That the Lord execute his plan as he has written, man, right? continuing the definition, there was one more I wanted to get here. Yeah, for someone's benefit, right? Let me go back up. It says benefit or well-being, interest, advantage, purpose, end, right? The expected end, right? Our end, or the expected end, right? The end of this place is attached to the beginning of eternity, man, right? Right, like it says. Let's get that. Right? Because just the point, again, everything we're seeing is for the sake of the elect, right? Prophecy continued to ramp up is for the sake of the elect, right? The death that's going to take place in the earth is for the sake of the elect. The nuclear missiles are for the sake of the elect, right? You know, everything, man, right? The mark of the beast, right? Because what's it going to do? It's going to separate, right, the elect from the non-elect, man, right? All these things are separating the elect from everyone else, man, right? This is Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end," right? So that's our expected end, right? Lord willing, we be a part of the elect number, right? Is to watch this place crash and burn, man, right? To see Revelation 18 take place right before our eyes, man. And then subsequently to see, you read into the beginning of the 19th chapter, right, where it talks about the exaltation of the Lord, right, for destroying this place, man, right? That's the expected end, right? That's what the elect are going to receive in that salvation, man, right? To see that lake of fire as we get taken up in the chariots, man, right? To see the spiritual power be endowed upon the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? To execute, this is what we're seeking to see, right? This is what we're working towards, like it said in that definition, the purpose, the end, man. What's the end, man? To receive the kingdom, man, right? We want to do whatever it takes to be the beneficiaries of that kingdom, man, right? Like it says here, this is what I want. The purpose of obtaining or achieving, right? We want to obtain the kingdom, man, right? And that ties into us obtaining this wisdom through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? So that's why we're continually, right? Brothers is more diligent in studies and reading and teaching, right? Meditating, praying, right? Fasting, all these things, right? Again, setting your house in order, right? Because that's what the elect will be doing in these times. What does it say? Put ye on as the elect, right? That vocation that we've been charged with, because the elect are the reason these things are happening in the earth, man, right? It's the reason we're about to see Babylon the Great, take the greatest fall that it's ever seen, man. It's the reason why, all these nations are going to be gathered in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, right? It's the reason why these devils think that they can overcome Yahweh Shai, man, right? Can overcome Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Because they know, it's like it. They know that the elect is out there somewhere, right? And they have to do what they can to try to offset prophecy, man, right? But again, it's all for the sake of the elect, starting with Yahweh Shai, right? So he can receive his kingdom, and we can be those joint heirs alongside him, man, right? Let's go here. Because what it say is the Most High's pleasure, right? Yep. This is Luke 12 and 32. Fear not, little flock, right? And who's the flock of the Lord, man? The elect, again. For it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, right? This is the purpose, right, of all this, so that the kingdom can be given to Yahweh Shai and the ranks, going down, man. The joint heirs, right? King David, the 12, 144,000, right? The innumerable multitude, right? All the elect, right? This is the pleasure of the Lord, right? This is the purpose of prophecy, right? To establish a righteous world, man. In eternity, right? What they say in perpetuity. Let's get this here. Let's see what this says. Good pleasure. That's right. To be well pleased with, to take pleasure in, to be favorably inclined toward one. Who is the Lord favorably inclined towards? The elect, man. Right? As we just read, the electos, right? His good pleasure, right? He is favorably inclined to give the kingdom to his chosen, man. Right? So everything that we're seeing is a step towards that, to the step towards receiving all these gifts, all these blessings that the Lord has, the promises that he has stored up for us, man. Right? We just have to continue on, right? And continue in the faith, enduring to the end again, we can get one more here and we'll close out. How'd it go? Some Jeremiah. Praise Salakia. It's Isaiah 62. Okay, it's Isaiah 62 and verse 6. It reads, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. And those watchmen would be a part of the elect, right? The prophets that you see out here on the highways and byways doing these video epistles, right? Week in, week out, day in, day out, right? Those are the watchmen, right? And those men are going to be a part of the elect. It says, which shall never hold their peace day nor night, right? Continuing in this work, in this labor. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, right? Continually pray, continually cry out, man. As the scriptures tell you, pray without ceasing, right? Again, as we read in that Ezekiel 9:4, right? That sighed and cried for the abominations done, right? That's what the elect would be doing, right? That's how you're going to receive that dawah, man, right? If you're not crying out, right, then the Lord is just going to think that you are part of the problem, man, right? It says, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. And this is what we're crying out for, man. And this is what, again, for the sake of the elect, man. Everything is for the sake of the elect. All the prophecy that you see unfolding in the earth is for the sake of the elect, because it's going to do what? It's going to, it's meaning the Lord is going to establish Jerusalem as that praise in the earth again, man. He's going to establish those righteous judges. He's going to establish the eternal king being Yahweh Shai, he's going to receive all the glory, right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? All the magnification, right? Everything. So again, in giving us the kingdom, right? It's exalting Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai even the more, man. And in doing so, he's destroying this current hegemony before our eyes, man. Right? So all the things, all the difficulties, right? All the hurdles that you might have to overcome, right? All these are part of, what the Lord is doing, Lord willing, for our sakes, man, right? For the sake of the elect, So, Lord willing, us edifying through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I want to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Recha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Kwame Yasharallah and the Bible Ball. Shalom.